Grades of view. Now, grades of view is interesting because everybody, especially when you're like a student and you're practicing intubation, what view do you usually see? Or what view do you want to see? We want to see a grade 1, right? And most of you are like, dude, I see grade 1 views all the time on the mannequin, all right? Grade 1 views are not as common as you might think when it comes to intubation, especially for if you have a wide variety of different people that you're going to be trying to intubate. Not everyone's going to have the same anatomy, okay? So let me explain a little bit about how this grades of view work and what you need to do to change your skills or maybe the way you think about intubation. So when we look at a grade 1 view, obviously what we want to see, if you see this, I don't want to butcher it, this thing hovering over the top, the fact that I can see that very easily in this photo is telling me that the person who's intubating is using a Macintosh blade, okay? Because remember, the Macintosh blade does not touch the epiglottis. It's above the epiglottis in the valvular space. Whoever was intubating that patient, and I'm going to get rid of that just so you guys can take a look again, they're in the perfect spot. They're using the perfect size blade. They're in the valvular space. They're displacing and indirectly viewing that glottic opening. Perfect. Awesome. But let's take a look at number 2. A grade 2 view is probably more common in EMS than a grade 1. And it's not always because you're using improper technique. Most of the time, I think a grade 2, especially grade 3 and 4, which we're going to get into, but are most likely from improper materials. So we see this piece of flesh right there. That is your epiglottis. Understand that it is 100% go time whenever I see the epiglottis and I'm trying to enter that patient's mouth to intubate them. And what I mean by it's 100% go time is because if you know the anatomy, what is underneath the epiglottis? Take a look at that grade 1 view again. Right underneath the epiglottis is the glottic opening. It never changes. It's not like for some people it's above it, for some people it's to the right or left of it. No, the glottic opening is always below the epiglottis. And if you know that, when you intubate somebody, take your time. I know you got 30 seconds and it seems like that's going to go by super fast. When you enter with the blade, the first thing I always want you to think about is, where is the epiglottis? Fish your way down into the epiglottis. Look at that grade 2 view. If I saw that, I know that all I need to do is place that Mac blade just above that epiglottis. And let's say that Mac blade can't go any further. That's as far as it's going to go. You're telling me that I can't intubate that patient because I can't see the glottic opening? The hell? Yeah, I can. And that's the whole reason why you have a stylet inside of your tube. Angle the bottom of your tube, and you want to fish it right underneath that epiglottis to make it into the glottic opening. Definitely a grade 2. You can 100% still intubate that patient without issues. Now, once it gets to grade 3 is where we start getting a little weird, right? Now, I still have visualization of what I'm looking for. I mean, not necessarily, right? I'm looking for the glottic opening, but I found this epiglottis. So we kind of know where we're at. You could make a long shot to try to intubate that patient. I would like to get further in, but what's telling me here, if you intubate somebody and you have a grade 3 view, what happened is your materials, your blade is too short, okay? Your blade is too short with a grade 3 view, and this is a problem with EMS. This is a problem with not practicing a lot or not studying. If you have a grade 3 or grade 4 view and you back up and you say, hey man, I don't see the glottic opening, somebody else try. And you go like this with the blade. Hey, somebody else try. And then your buddy grabs the blade. Oh, let me get in there. If you know how to intubate and you're using proper technique, what the hell do you think your buddy's going to see? Your buddy's going to see a grade 3 or a grade 4 view. The same shit you just looked at, okay? And if you were having a difficult time intubating that patient because your view was bad, what do you think's going to happen to him or her because of that? Please, please, please change your blades when you pass it to somebody else. If you practice intubation and this is something that you look at and something that you know what you're doing technique-wise, do not just pass it over. Okay. Too often do I see that shit happen. Drives me nuts. Take off the blade, ask for a 4 Mac, ask for a Miller blade, whatever you need to do. But if you're seeing those views, you're not gonna see it regardless. So Palermo asks, what blades do I recommend then? If I started with a Mac 3, and let's say I'm comfortable with a Mac, because remember, I told you in the beginning of this, I don't give a shit what blade you use. It's all preference. Some people like Miller, some people like Mac blades. What matters is if it is long enough for you to get to that follicular space. If I use a Mac 3 and I see a grade 3 or a grade 4 view, I'm going to ask for a Mac 4. That's it. I'm just going to move up in size. Now, let's say that I'm using a Mac 4 view, or if I'm using a Mac 4 and I still have a grade 3 or grade 4 view, now is when I'm going to ask for a Miller blade, because the Miller blade's a lot longer. Okay. And some people's anatomy is weird as shit, man. You'd be shocked to see how far some people's airways get. Mike brings up the bougie. Not a bad idea, especially once you start getting some interesting looking maybe damage or swelling that's occurring inside the oropharynx. It's not a bad idea to use a bougie. The problem with the bougie is sometimes it's very flimsy. If you had like a grade 3 or grade 4 view, good luck trying to fish that thing around and trying to figure out where it's headed. You need to use better tools to get in there. And I hope these views helped you understand that.